It's your boy JB, and I'm here today with the review for Claws Season 3, Episode number 7. And the episode was titled Chicken Pussy. So, you guys, without further ado, we're just going ahead and just jump right into today's video. Alright, so the episode started out kind of interestingly weird. So, it opened up with Desna in her apartment on a TV show called Blue Cheers that was hosted by Iyanla Beloved. And, Mac and Melba were on the show as well. Again, I just thought it was really weird. I just did not understand that whole thing because in it, she did a DNA test talking about that Dean was not their son, which, of course, he's not their son. And, then she also said, but he doesn't want to be with you either. And then that's when we go to actual reality. So at the shop, the girls, they're talking about the Macau Triad. And what are they going to do? And Desmond tell them, I don't want y'all to do anything. Like, I don't want y'all involved in this. Like, I need y'all to stay put. Like, do as I say. She says that what she wants to do is she wants to take Roller down to the casino. And she wants for Roller to help her to get Dean out of the casino. So then she goes to her office. And then Polly comes into the office talking to her. And Polly's just trying to apologize to her about everything, not telling her about her relationship with Joe. And, she was like, if you want me to, I can go down to the casino and, work with Joe. She's like, no, Polly, I don't want you involved in that. But then she thinks about it. She says, what, maybe it would be a good idea to have someone on the inside to help me when it comes to Mac and Melba. Yeah, yeah. So then at the casino, we see Desna. She's talking to Dean about Mac and Melba, his boss, which Dean knows who their boss is. He knows that, they're part of the Macau Triad. But Dean doesn't seem like he does. It's not that he doesn't seem like he's not concerned. Dean is not concerned at all about the Macau Triad. Dean is worried about this Mahjong tournament that he has coming up. And then Desna tells, Dean the links that she would go through to protect him. And then she tells him, she was like, remember when we were in this one group home? And, he's like, yeah, the food was terrible. And, she's like, it was set on fire. The kitchen was. And then she was like, yeah, that was me that set that on fire. And she said the reason why I did that is because there was a family that wanted to adopt you, but they already had so many kids, and I wanted them to take me with you so that way I could look after you. But they said no. So when they said no, she set the fire to the kitchen, and she blamed it on Dean. Wow. I mean, that is a little bit selfish. But I mean, I guess in her defense, I can see why she did it because he has, autism. So I can see why she did it. Interesting, though. So, also, we saw Mac and Melba. So Mac and Melba were in their office and watching on a security camera, because Dean actually turned not Melba, but Desna down. And, what they want is for Dean to stay focused on his tournament. Now, they kind of revealed their plan. So the plan is with the tournament, when he wins the money, he won't ever get to use the money because they'll take him out and they'll disappear into oblivion and no one would ever be none the wiser. Which I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Very, very fucked up. So then we also see Desna. She asked Roller for a favor after Dean has, completely shut her down. So what she wants Roller to do is she wants Roller to run the hunting grounds, which is the club that's in the casino. And then maybe that way, Roller can, kind of talk to Dean, work Dean to, let his guard down so that way she can go in there, talk to Dean, and that way they can get Dean out. So then Mac and Melba walks up to Desna and Roller. And, Desna's telling Mac and Melba that she wants for Roller to run the hunting grounds. Melba's like, absolutely not. She's like, I don't want your black white boys to run it. But then after a while, Melba calms down. She's like, you know what? Do it. It's yours. So then, Roll's like, I need some Skrilla. She's like, what? They were like, paper, moolah, money, bitch. She says, okay, go to accounting, get whatever the hell you need, and I don't want to see you. So then we do see Roller, and Roller was asking Dean for advice. And, he wants to know, Dean wants to know, did Desna send you to talk to me? And, Roller's like, no, she didn't send me to talk to you. So, Roller tells him, he's like, I need some advice for you when it comes to this club. And he's like, Roller, you know how I am. I don't like a lot of noise and I don't like people touching me. So, I can't help you. But then he tells him, what about Polly's boys? Like, can you get in touch with them? And he was like, but that would interfere with my Mahjong training. He's like, no, it would actually help your Mahjong training. So then Dean is like, okay, he'll do it. So he tells him, okay, get Polly's boys together and you guys are on tomorrow night. So that's Dean's task. All right, so next we see Roller. Roller is getting ready at the club. He's getting the Cristal champagne together. And then we see Polly there with Polly's boys. She's in her accent. She's doing her thing. So then Joe comes in. He wants to take Polly out extorting, but Polly's like, no, I'm kind of busy with the boys right now. She's like, but I will be free at 3 o'clock. So we find out that, Joe is jealous of Dean. The reason why Joe is jealous of Dean is because Mac and Melba adopted Dean as opposed to adopting him when, Joe has done so much for them, especially killing people. So then, Polly asks him, so why would they adopt, Dean? Well, he doesn't know because he's out of the loop and, he knows nothing. So then we see Roller. He tells Desna so far things are working. But, she says, okay, let me go talk to Dean. He's like, no, don't do that. Don't make yourself look so thirsty. So back off. Just, let it happen naturally. And so then we see Polly. She's telling Desna, because they're getting ready for the performance, and she tells Desna that Joe is, extremely jealous of Dean because Mac and Melba have him out of the loop. So they do have a plan. He doesn't know what the plan is. All right, so then Roller tells Dean he need, so after the performance was over, Roller tells Dean like, hey man, like you and Polly's boys, like y'all need to go on a road with that. And he was like, but that would interfere with my Mahjong training. And Roller's like, you need to leave that Mahjong alone because you can't, ain't nobody gonna want to see see you old with stretch marks on your ass and wrinkly skin, doing no stripping. So then Desna comes over, and Desna is basically sucking up to Dean at this point. And then we see her. She tells Dean, "Hey, you're right. I have been selfish." And then I'm gonna get a little ahead of myself, but she tells Dean that Mac and Melba they want Ann dead, and Ann is in hiding, and they also tried to kill her and Roller, and they left them in a swamp. And I'm going to explain to you guys in just a few minutes why Ann is in hiding, so stick with me. Alright you guys, so before I go into Quiet Ann's story of this week, I want to talk about this one scene with Mac and Melba, not Mac and Melba, but Melba and Desna. So, in Desna's office, there were two men that came in there with big duffel bags full of money. And they told her, hey, Trip sent us. Trip told us that you're going to clean this money, so you're the new cleaning lady. So then she sees all the money. She's like, what the and I'm looking at the money like, what the fuck? That's a lot of fucking money. So then she goes to Melba's office and she tells Melba, like, hey, Melba, how do you guys launder the money through the casino? She's like, I don't think I know is how to do it through, through the nail shop. And that much money, you can't even, there's no way you could wash all that money through a nail shop. No way. So, Melba is getting a good kick out of it. She's like, let me revel in this for a minute. She says, bitch, open your eyes. So then what they do show, that Melba does show how she cleans the money. So there's an old lady, there's a 5th grade teacher. She comes in, they go over in an area where the security cameras can't really see them, and they give her the money. She goes with the money to cash in for chips. She gets the chips. She goes to the table. She plays on the table. She wins the money. She wins the money back. When she wins the money back, she takes it back to get the money back again, and that is how they give Trip clean money. I'm like, well, that was and then they give her a little bribe for school supplies. I'm like, wow, that was really interesting. Very, very interesting. I just don't know if I can launder money because it's just so much shit that you got to do to it. Like app, nope. I'm good on that one. Okay, so next I'm gonna talk about Polly. So certain scenes are gonna. I'm not gonna go in complete order until I get to Anne. So we see Polly. Polly went to Joe's office, and she's telling Joe how much she missed him, and he asked her, "Why did you send the gun back to me?" She's like, "Well, the reason why I sent the gun back to you is because I'm not good at accepting gifts." And then she gives him one of her bullshit stories that she always comes up with. And then he said, "You walked away." And she's like, "Well, I thought I was next." She said, "You killed Yolanda. You killed Penelope. Like, motherfucker, I thought I was next." And he's like, "You're not going to cross me, are you?" She says, "No, I'm not going to cross you." And then he tells her that he's not playing her. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I think Joe really has feelings for Polly. Like, no shit. I really think he has feelings for her. So we're going to move on. Because I don't want to talk about it. Because I have another scene up under this, but I don't want to talk about it just yet. So stick with me with this. All right, now, you guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about Bryce. I'm going to talk about EJ, Virginia, Jen, Uncle Daddy, Toby, and Dr. Ken. I'm going to include them all into one. So, let's see, where are we going to start at? So, at the shop, we saw Virginia. So, Virginia was getting ready for a date with EJ, and she was trying to get some advice from Jen about what to wear. And Jen told her, "Oh, you should wear that outfit, let your titties bounce." She's like, "Girl, these mosquito bites is not finna bounce nowhere." She's like, "Well, girl, you ain't gonna have them on for long anyway, so shit, it don't even really matter." So then Bryce comes into the shop and he tells Jen that he has some good news. She's like, "Oh my God, you got me the Cadillac that I want?" He said, "No, even better." So what he meant by even better was that he has this publishing company came to him, and they want to publish his book, Get It, and they want to turn it into an actual book. So then we see them with the publisher, and I'm like, what kind of bootleg publisher is this? So Bryce does agree to, have them publish a book for him. So then the guy gives him an advance on the book for $25,000. So and what he wants him to do is he wants him to do a small promotional tour, and he has something planned for them that same night. So we do see EJ and Virginia. They went on a date. Now, Virginia's better than I am because I would have been upset after EJ explained the date. So it's a place that he and Jen went to, especially when Jen was pregnant. And I would have been like, "So you're gonna bring me somewhere that you brought Jen? Like, that's not cool. No, absolutely not." And who shows up? None other than Bryce and Jen. And why are Bryce and Jen there? They're there because that's where the publishing company is having that small little promotional tour. So then we see Bryce, he's reading from the book, and then EJ and Virginia come in. And then there's a guy out in the audience, and he asks, Bryce a question about the true race. And they were like, "What do you mean a true race?" He was like, "The white race." And Bryce was like, "Whoa, I'm not racist." They said, "Neither are we." Bryce was like, "We have black friends and family, and you got a black baby daddy." So we find out that those people are none other than white nationalists. I'm like, oh, fucking God. That makes sense now. So then, Bryce and the publisher, the guy that gave him the check, they get into a fight. He accidentally hits Jen. Jen beats his ass. And you know what? Virginia should have really been pissed off. Because now EJ went and grabbed Jen. I'm like, wait, why would it? I guess because all the people had surrounded Bryce. I don't know. Thought it was really fucking odd. All right, so all right, my bad, y'all. So at the clinic, we see a patient, and she wants some pills from Dr. Kim. But Dr. Kim tells her, "Nope, come back tomorrow for rehab." And she's like, "I need these pills." She was talking about her drug dealer and what she would do. I'm like, "Girl, if you want the pills that badly, you will find a way to get them. Trust me, you will." So then we see Uncle Daddy and Brenda getting hot and heavy with one another. And we find out that Uncle Daddy has not told Toby about him and Brenda. I'm like, oh, ooh, Toby not gonna be happy about that shit, is he? So as Brenda's leaving, Toby walks in. And, Toby is in his feelings about Uncle Daddy. And he was like, "You didn't even bring me in on the phone." Well, Uncle Daddy wants to bring him in now with him and Brenda. He wants he wants a relationship with both of them. And Toby tells him, no, like, because Uncle Dad's like, well, what's the difference between Brenda and Wanda, Auntie Mommy? He's like, the thing was, she was a queen, and you both chose me. When it came down to Brenda, I didn't get a say so in this, so you have to make a choice. It's either Brenda or it's me. I'm like, ooh, shit. So then we see Toby. He shows up at the clinic where Dr. Ken is, and he wants some oxy. And Dr. Ken tells him no. He was like, oh, don't worry about Uncle Dad. Uncle Dad is so wrapped up in Brenda's pussy that he ain't gonna notice nothing. So then we see Dr. Ken. He looked and Toby took the oxy and left the cabinet open it. And I'm like, oh, what is Dr. Ken gonna do? Because when he came in there, Dr. Ken was on the phone with his credit card company. I guess Dr. Ken has been behind on his credit card payments. So Dr. Ken shows up to where the addict is that was trying to get the drugs earlier in the episode. And, he tells her, here, take the drug. Tell your friends about me, but don't use my name. When it comes down to it, call me Ishmael. I'm like, oh, so Dr. Ken finna do a side business on the side of Uncle Daddy. I'm like, ooh, that might not end well for you, Dr. Ken, huh? Because you're going against Uncle Daddy. I'm going to pray for you, buddy. All right, now we're going to talk about Ann and Arlene. Okay, so we first see Ann and Arlene. They're at the doctor's office, and they're going there to get a sonogram so that they can hear the baby's heartbeat. So the doctor does, his thing, and at first, no heartbeat could be, detected. And Ann is like, there's something wrong with the baby. And Arlene's like, no, there's nothing wrong with the baby. Everything is good. But eventually, they do hear the baby's heart beating. So then we see Ann. She's showing her brother the sonogram. And, he's talking about how he's thinking about dropping out of the race. He's wanting to drop out of the race because Patel knows that he's gay. And Patel's going to use that against him at the next debate. So Ann, her big mouth, she opens her big mouth and she drops the bomb on Patel about the money laundering through Bayview. I'm like, ah, shit, Ann. What the fuck you do that for? What the fuck did she do that for? So then we see Patel and Henry. They're having a debate, and they're talking about same-sex marriage. Now, Patel's talking about how he's opposed to same-sex marriage, but his opponent here, he is invested in it, and, there might be a personal reason as to why he is invested in it. And Patel, Henry says, yes, there is a reason why I'm invested in it. He says, because my sister's a lesbian, and, she and her partner are engaged, and I'm happy for them, and I think they make a perfect couple, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So then Patel says, well, what about your boyfriend? And I'm like, oh, shit, didn't see that one coming. And then Patel says, not Patel, but then Henry says, well, what about, if I admit that, you need to admit the fact that you are laundering money through Bayview. And I'm like, oh, shit. And then Desna and Roller are in her office, and they were talking about how happy she is with what's going on between she and Dean, how Dean didn't turn her away, and she sees it and she's like, oh shit. So then we see her, she's in her car, and she's calling Polly because she's been trying to reach out to Ann, but Ann has not been answering the phone, and where am I at? Yeah. Yeah, Ann is not answering the phone because her brother leaked that the government was taking bribes, and she needs to find her before Mac and Melba find her. And what she wants Polly to do is work on Joe to see what Mac and Melba knows. So so Joe is there with Polly, by the way, and Joe is upset about all the decisions that Mac and Melba have made without him. So then we see Desna. She's calling Ann once again, but she gets Ann's voicemail. So then she goes to the shop, and once she walks in the door, Ann comes out of hiding, and she's like, Ann, I've been calling you. Like, why the fuck haven't you been answering your phone? So then Desna tells her, like, Ann, you need to get your ass in the fucking car, and let's go before someone finds you and kills you. So they're in the car, and Ann tells Desna, like, you know what? Dean is right about you. Like, you do try to control people. She's like, girl, I know you are not talking about me controlling people when you got your name is Quiet Ann, but you got a big ass fucking mouth. And then Polly texts Desna and tells Desna, hey, there's nothing, I don't have anything on Mac and Melba at this point, but I'm going to continue to work on Joe. So then Melba calls Desna, and she's telling her, well, she's upset because she's like, the quiet one, yeah, the quiet one's brother just blabbed on national television, on television, that the governor is running his money through the clinic. And I'm like, oh shit. But she tells her, like, and Desna tells her, I haven't found her. She says, well, you're looking for her, so are we. I'm like, there is something seriously wrong with Melba. So Desna and Ann are at a hotel, and then Arlene shows up. So I guess Desna had left, and Arlene is just upset. She's like, your brother did this to us. Like, why the fuck would he do that? And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna fix this. And Ann is like, no, you're not gonna be a dirty cop for them. She says, yes, I'm gonna make a deal with them, and I'm gonna protect you, me, and the baby. So then we see Desna. She's in the office with Mac and Melba, and she's saying that she could not find Ann, and Arlene is there as well. And Desna's like, what the fuck are you doing here? So Arlene is telling Mac and Melba that what they're going to do. So she's telling them what they're going to do is that they're going to clean the books, make sure that there's no trace of the governor at all, and then they will never lay eyes on Ann again. And Desna's like, yeah, I'm all with that. And then somebody comes from behind and just slits her fucking throat. And I'm like, well, damn, she's dead. Yeah. And that was actually the best part of the episode. I'm sorry to say that was the best part of the episode, because we haven't gotten anything like juicy like that all season. And we're on episode number 7, and we're almost finished with this season. Like, it took 7 episodes for us to get to this point. I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying. Just saying. So it was the professor who slit her throat. So I'm pretty sure we're going to find out more about the professor as we go along. But again, we're almost finished with the season. So I'm just trying to make sure I talked about everything before I end this video, you guys. Oh, I did not. I missed something. So before all this happened, Joe came into the office where Polly was, saying that Mac and Melba wanted her friend Ann dead. And she tells him, you need to stand up for yourself. And, he gets upset. He goes on his rant about Dean, how they should get Dean to do it. And so she tells him that you need to lie to them and tell them that you cannot find Ann, and that she would keep him occupied. And the way she's going to keep him occupied is by giving him some head. So, you guys, that was the episode. Like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later on tonight for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the reunion, part 1.